Well, good morning, or good afternoon. I think we're going to have a productive session today. We have a couple of creatives who are going to go into some of the implications of AI and some of the downfalls, some of the upsides, some of the upskilling that's going to be involved. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce, first of all, a man who is in the music business. Specifically, Utopia Music does things like audience measurements and making sure musical artists get the credit and the compensation that they deserve. And his name is Thomas Leedy. Tom?
Thank you.
And also with us today is an accomplished artist. She has, you wouldn't believe some of the stuff she has done. And her name is Cecilia Lasciafari. Cecilia?
Lasciafari.
So one question that's been asked a lot, almost to the point of clichédom, about artificial intelligence is whether it's going to spawn a new renaissance and whether it's going to bring some of the nuances of human hybrid creativity to the fore and actually create new forms of art. So I'd like to start with that question to our panelists. Do you want to start out?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Cecilia Lasciafari, and I am founder of FIRESIDE.com and Italian representative for Artivive, an augmented reality platform for art from Vienna. I am an expert generalist and creative strategist technologist specialized into art and technology as AR, VR, AI, and mostly I'm an artificial intelligence researcher, especially in the sector of images generated by AI software. I have created a project called Flying to the Metaverse Through Books and Culture, which is a series of interviews with the most important professionals in the XR field. And I am organizer of the AUE Night Florence and Italian responsible for AWE, a big community from New York. I work daily in the digital department of innovation of the third most important publishing house in Italy, and I manage an online journal called Area 6 registered to the Italian court, where I wrote article about the different topics I'm concerned with. And I have just become a member of the Italian Association for Artificial Intelligence, which deals with the professional coming from the most important Italian research institution and university. So for the first question, well, history teaches us that in its cyclicality, there is always a dark period of decadence, which is opposite to a subsequent period of light and rebirth. There are many similarities between the period we are currently living and what happened during the Renaissance. The 15th century was characterized by the great diffusion and spontaneous continuity of the movement, the awareness of fracture between the modern age and the old age. The Renaissance was born after the dark period of the Middle Age, and it was a century of changes, starting a new wave of conceiving the world. It was a cultural movement that involved every aspect of knowledge, as well as music, art, literature, science, politics, and sculpture, and it changed the role of the woman, allowing her to study, be considered a bride, mother, political person, and a manager of diplomatic interest. And what an extraordinary moment this is for women's rebellion. The inserter of filter within the AI system means that we need to select and drive what the machine does, and therefore, in a certain sense, we are seeking beauty, which was exactly what happened in the art during the Renaissance.
Well, one thing I wanted to ask Tom about, in the introduction I was talking about how he does audience measurement and sort of finding when the songs are played so the artist can get compensation. But actually his core work is in the area of music and emotion. And so I'd like to do sort of a brief, shallow, deep dive into that and ask him about how does AI bring that kind of thing to the fore? And what are some of the groundbreaking things you're doing in that area?
Yeah, thank you, Jerry, for the introduction. Thank you, everyone, for coming. So I'm Thomas Leedy, Senior Director of AI and Data Science at Utopia Music. I have almost 20 years experience in music, this crossover music and AI. And at Utopia Music, we have this motto, fair pay for every play. So we really want to know when has music been consumed worldwide, where, and how often, so that the artists can get their fair share of the royalties. And by doing so and fulfilling this goal, we employ quite a range of AI technologies, starting with like tracking where music is played with an proprietary audio fingerprinting and audio recognition technology, but also, as Jerry just mentioned, going into this realm of emotional AI. What does it mean? So we have AI systems that understand emotions and moods in the music by analyzing patterns in the music where people respond to a certain mood in the music, and then also track the emotions and moods of people while they are listening to music and find out these patterns as well and match and link them. And why are we doing this? Is because to create and build better music recommendation methods and technologies that we offer to digital streaming services that can integrate these to get like to a whole new level of music recommendation that fits your personal need in the moment. To come back to the question of Jerry, initial question, are we in a Renaissance era now? I would say somewhat yes. I mean, we had Industrial Revolution, we had the Digital Revolution, we have somewhat, you could say, the AI revolution right now. I wouldn't call it revolution quite yet because it's kind of evolving. We all know that AI has been around since the 1960s or even 50s in last century, and it took quite a while to get us where we are right now. But here we are now at an event of several thousand people, really big interest of AI thanks to the big step changes that have happened in the past few years, be it like in image generation or conversational chats like ChatGPT, but also the step changes we have seen in music and other creative sectors, like Cecilia is going to tell us in the visual arts. And there is a transformation going on. There's a lot to come, and the big question is, will it be more opportunities for us, or will there be challenges for particular sectors in this domain of, especially in the creative sector, for example? And yeah, let's talk further about this.
Well, Kekalia, you were talking earlier when we were speaking privately about a quote you had heard about that it's not about art, it's about imagination. And you brought some proof here too. So I wonder if you could go into that briefly and also show what you have.
Yeah, at this point, I like to turn the same question to the public, showing one of my AI artworks, of which I built the frame by hand, but for security reasons, I couldn't bring it on the plane. So can it be considered art? Could I sell it? I put an augmented reality with Artivive app animation on these images, and this is I made 200 variation and prompt for make a series of women like this. So this is art. Is this art? I approached the AI because I was immersed in the technological world. At a center point, I saw my friends who are engineers and programmers starting to create spectacular images and calling themselves artists without ever having held a pencil in their hand. But the first thing I felt as an artist was frustration. But in the last year, I have been working to better manage AI, and I do believe AI can be a new tool for art. Of course, we are only at the beginning of this evolution, and maybe the artists will use these AI tools in a new way that we aren't able to imagine at the moment. I am organizing a class to teach AI to the students of the painting methodologies at the university, which is the Accademia of Fine Arts in Florence, in Italy. By the next World Summit AI 2024, I will be able to tell you how artists will have used the AI tools and will have developed their art.
Well, Tom, you mentioned earlier some of the predictive qualities of AI and some of the things you've been doing in that area. I know you've done some work in terms of what artists can expect. And what about the audience? I mean, is it possible to take a piece of music and sort of predict its complete life cycle, or will it in the future?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, first of all, I'm very familiar with AI in the music sector, but we have to roughly divide into AI systems that help the artist after the creative process, to track how successful their music is on different platforms, and AI systems that help in the creative process. And in both domains, there's a lot going on right now. In the creative process, there's AI assistance tools that help you generate the beat or the lyrics, or the drum pattern, the melody, all elements of music. We also have AI systems now that generate singing voice. There's some fake stuff around which we need to get under control. There's also AI systems that can generate almost an entire song without singing though yet. So there's a lot to come on the creative process, and we need to kind of balance how it is supporting the artist and how is it not endangering the artist. And there's a long way to go. We need to regulate some stuff. We need to create something, a new framework on top of the copyright framework, and a lot of things in the creative sector. I would like to come to the other sector. How can we support the artist just before releasing or after releasing? And this is where we have a lot of also AI-powered tools in place that help, for example, claim the artist's right on YouTube and on different platforms to link and recognize where the song is available on platforms and really get the royalties from there. But we have also a platform that's called the Heartbeat platform that can tell an artist before the release how does the song sound. It analyzes how does the song sound and how does it fit to different platforms, to different audiences. What is kind of a release planner telling where you can publish the music to find the best target audience and reach. And this is where we tie in again with our emotional AI systems and analyze music and people, and can offer a whole new level of recommender and possibilities and matching people with music.
So, Kale, you were talking earlier, or you alluded to some of the currents of art that can be affected by artificial intelligence. And let's look ahead. When artificial general intelligence becomes a reality, what will be the impact on the currents of art? Will AI sort of have a seat at the table? Because art goes through all these phases. Cubism and pop art and whatever. So is AI going to have a seat at that table?
An artistic movement is an artistic, literary, pictorial or cultural current that breaks or renews the existing panorama. It develops in different forms of art in a specific historical period and in a specific area. If we look at the first AI imaging software, we can see that they were developed in different places, but at the same time. Midjourney and OpenAI with ChatGPT and DALL-E were developed in San Francisco, California. Stability AI in England, with Lion in Germany and Stable Diffusion also in Germany. DeviantArt in Los Angeles. Runaway was developed in Chile, South America. Leonardo AI was developed in Australia. I can continue, but throughout the world, at an international level, there has been a movement towards breaking static creativity, which has created a wave of innovation in all fields, from the scientific to the artistic. I see AI as a light train that is wetting all aspects of humanity, and for that we must necessarily learn to understand and manage it in order to drive AI towards ethical respect.
So we have a few minutes for questions, about 4.5 minutes. Anybody have any questions for our panelists? Do I see a hand up right there?
I'm very intrigued by the reference you made to AI in music and that it can generate music. When would you see AI creating an entire pop song, if you had to estimate that?
Couple of years, I would say. It's like really something in between opportunity and challenge right now. So we have to embrace that that the creator, both on the music and on the visual art side, will coexist with the AI systems. And right now we see AI systems more as supportive, like as tools to help the creative process. But there will be, we see it right now, it's already people like creating so-called fake songs, but it needs like to plug 6 different AI systems together and filter your song through this and like get the voice out and then replace the voice and so on. But it's only a couple of years till the AI systems that we have right now will fuse together, and you can like input and say, generate me a melody in the style of. And then I think the difficulty right now is the voice. We can't create sung lyrics just like this purely with the machine right now. It's even hard to analyze the voice in songs right now. Or, for example, analyzing the lyrics and so on. But this is, in my opinion, a couple of years down the road. And then it's really the question, how do we deal with this? We need to find a form of like co-creation, saying, okay, we embrace that AI is there and we can also use it to generate entire songs. But do we want that? We don't want to eliminate the human creative process. So if you look at the copyright right now, it is really tied to the human being creative. You can copyright normally only works where human creativity is part of it. But we need to have like a new framework of what do we do with all this AI-generated art? And what if it violates in the creation process of the AI-generated art that it took other copyrighted art as source? This, like, we have to overcome all of these difficulties.
So a very quick question to the two of you. Do you think AI art is a derivative art form, or could it create something groundbreaking? Or music?
I can start if you want. Derivative output is a difficult word, because every musician right now has already tools, all kind of electronic tools to help the process of creating music. You wouldn't forbid a synthesizer that was around in the 70s already, no? So now we have AI tools that also help the creative process. And as long as there's still a creative process of the person involved, there should be the right to copyright and protect this art, where still there was a creativity process of the human. I would just make a difference for purely AI-generated art and music, where you literally just press the button and say, generate this, and put it out there. And this makes it different. There's no human creative process involved anymore. There we need to create a new framework to say how we deal with this, who gets the royalties, how to protect these things from and the human created work.
Very good. Well, I think we've about exhausted our time, so I want to thank both of you. It's been great to meet you and become friends, and of course to share some of the insights you have. And so thank you very much, and thank you very much for listening, and we had a great time. Wish everybody were here.
Thank you.